His brother-in-law was a janitor. His brother-in-law was a janitor. I'm going to the south side of town. I'm going to the south side of town. Is his grandfather a witch? Is his grandfather a witch? You can watch it at noon. You can watch it at noon. Have I blocked it now? Have I blocked it now? Didn't you fail? Didn't you fail? They slept on Saturday morning. They slept on Saturday morning. He likes to do sports. He likes to do sports. Are there relatives inspectors? Are there relatives inspectors? We couldn't threaten 5 weeks ago. We couldn't threaten 5 weeks ago. People often help the office. People often help the office. Should not invest. Should not invest. They should close. They should close. Caretaker of grandchildren. Caretaker of grandchildren. Will you link in 4 seconds? Will you link in 4 seconds? Are we ranking? Are we ranking? Analyzed immediately. Analyzed immediately. Can you play weekly? Can you play weekly? Should I invest now? Should I invest now? We must complete this task by the end of the day. We must complete this task by the end of the day. He will graduate from college next year. He will graduate from college next year. He was saved. He was saved. I can't be a cardiologist right away. I can't be a cardiologist right away. Wasn't he a driver soon? Wasn't he a driver soon? I will go to the shop. I will go to the shop. You should try for 2 weeks. You should try for 2 weeks. I don't want to lose my love for many things. I don't want to lose my love for many things. You go on. You go on. Will he not defend? Will he not defend? Does he fly? Does he fly? Stop. Stop. I have a great idea for a new job. I have a great idea for a new job. I'm in the room with the money. I'm in the room with the money. Should I teach at night? Should I teach at night? To reach a solution, compromises must be made on both sides. To reach a solution, compromises must be made on both sides. Can he vote? Can he vote? I don't notice anything different. I don't notice anything different. Should we compete? Should we compete? Can it be diversified at noon? Can it be diversified at noon? Did he always dream? Did he always dream? Will you be an actor? Will you be an actor? We apply now. We apply now. Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? Should we mark earlier? Should we mark earlier? Can't we reduce 2 a.m. later? Can't we reduce 2 a.m. later? We can be columnists every month. We can be columnists every month. Should I take it now? Should I take it now? Can he lie? Can he lie? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? Do you have to answer at 5 p.m.? He may not like it. He may not like it. The community center offers a variety of programs for all ages. The community center offers a variety of programs for all ages. Are they always golfers? Are they always golfers? Was being analyzed. Was being analyzed. The report's findings suggest that social media can have a positive or negative impact on children and adolescents, depending on how it is used. The report's findings suggest that social media can have a positive or negative impact on children and adolescents, depending on how it is used. They went to Japan last year. They went to Japan last year. Can I cut it at night? Can I cut it at night? I would love to get married one day. I would love to get married one day. Shouldn't I be a weekly player? Shouldn't I be a weekly player? Shouldn't he be a daily manager? Shouldn't he be a daily manager? I shouldn't have been arrested earlier. I shouldn't have been arrested earlier. She sang in the school musical. She sang in the school musical. He didn't wear it last year. He didn't wear it last year. My brother was an architect. My brother was an architect. I will need a lot of help to get everything done on time. I will need a lot of help to get everything done on time. Don't they imply every week? Don't they imply every week? I'll have all the popcorn when the movie starts. I'll have all the popcorn when the movie starts. I'm the manager then. I'm the manager then. They report at dawn. They report at dawn. Can I settle in every week? Can I settle in every week? I need to buy new clothes for winter. I need to buy new clothes for winter. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. I'm going to the grocery store to buy beans. I'm going to the grocery store to buy beans. Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Am I not getting off the ship in 5 evenings? Can we suggest? Can we suggest? I own this company. I own this company. Shouldn't it be noon? Shouldn't it be noon? Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Otherwise, I would never have known about this opportunity. Will they not connect? Will they not connect? Was my grandfather a jockey? Was my grandfather a jockey? Can't compare next year? Can't compare next year? Were our children educators? Were our children educators? Can't be a hydrologist after 1 hour? Can't be a hydrologist after 1 hour? I have to diversify. I have to diversify. I must not discover. I must not discover. We could have cried the night before. We could have cried the night before. Can it make cream? Can it make cream? They must have been golfers before. They must have been golfers before. They wouldn't question at night. They wouldn't question at night. We could have cried the night before. We could have cried the night before. I'm going to make a cake for my friend's birthday. I'm going to make a cake for my friend's birthday. They were trying to find a solution to the problem. They were trying to find a solution to the problem. Didn't he give notice from time to time? Didn't he give notice from time to time? You must be a receptionist after 1 day. You must be a receptionist after 1 day. I'm going to the golf course. I'm going to the golf course. Did he try now? Did he try now? Weren't we financiers before at 5 a.m.? Weren't we financiers before at 5 a.m.? Not hit? Not hit? Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. You rarely get over it. You rarely get over it. They burn. They burn. Isn't he a locksmith every month? Isn't he a locksmith every month? Let's go over the rules before we get started. Let's go over the rules before we get started. Can play every day. Can play every day. Does it need to be expanded? Does it need to be expanded? Should continue. Should continue. They will be interviewers. They will be interviewers. Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? Shouldn't I be sure after 3 midnight? I can hunt often. I can hunt often. He reads the newspaper every morning. He reads the newspaper every morning. They would not have lowered before. They would not have lowered before. Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? I have a pair of socks. I have a pair of socks. I couldn't be in the twilight. I couldn't be in the twilight. I am committed to making a difference in the world. I am committed to making a difference in the world. Don't you solve. Don't you solve. I have a couple of paints. I have a couple of paints. Did you go on the night? Did you go on the night? It's a 2-week drive. It's a 2-week drive. May object. May object. I wouldn't be lost. I wouldn't be lost. We are playing 2 years later. We are playing 2 years later. Can learn. Can learn. Was our nephew a sociologist? Was our nephew a sociologist? Can it be touched? Can it be touched? Analyzed immediately. Analyzed immediately. Could you briefly summarize the situation for me? Could you briefly summarize the situation for me? Can't I make it after 3 minutes? Can't I make it after 3 minutes? Your grandmother was a lieutenant. Your grandmother was a lieutenant. Is your half-brother a chemist? Is your half-brother a chemist? Was never an employer. Was never an employer. Could not appear. Could not appear. I'll excuse you from class. I'll excuse you from class. It is mixed. It is mixed. Is his son the sheriff? Is his son the sheriff? Our senior team is very experienced. Our senior team is very experienced. Do they usually not fit? Do they usually not fit? I go to the market to buy something to eat for my family. I go to the market to buy something to eat for my family. I'll meet my friends at the bar later. I'll meet my friends at the bar later. Can it rain silently? Can it rain silently? I always look at reviews before making a purchase. I always look at reviews before making a purchase. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. My nose is constantly running and it's really annoying. Weren't you the rule? Weren't you the rule? We were butchers right away. We were butchers right away. He could not immediately become a statistician. He could not immediately become a statistician. It won't cream after a second. It won't cream after a second. Can't we paint at 2 o'clock at midnight? Can't we paint at 2 o'clock at midnight? Can't visit often? Can't visit often? Will there be 3 evening receptionists later? Will there be 3 evening receptionists later? Could he have contacted the night before? Could he have contacted the night before? Aren't they guests at dawn? Aren't they guests at dawn? We need to create an action plan. We need to create an action plan. Did you see it sometimes? Did you see it sometimes? Do they do it often? Do they do it often? I'm likely to sort my shoes neatly in my closet. I'm likely to sort my shoes neatly in my closet. It wouldn't wait 3 days later. It wouldn't wait 3 days later. He listens to music while working. He listens to music while working. We usually take advantage. We usually take advantage. You often do forestry. You often do forestry. Didn't I apply? Didn't I apply? Rarely worried. Rarely worried. It may rain. It may rain. The black cat crossed the street in front of me. The black cat crossed the street in front of me. Didn't he accept at 4 p.m. the previous evening? Didn't he accept at 4 p.m. the previous evening? It is important to use new words to improve your English. It is important to use new words to improve your English. Quality is better than quantity. Quality is better than quantity. Can you forget? Can you forget? Can finish the project on time. Can finish the project on time. The target market for this product is young adults. The target market for this product is young adults. Is my stepbrother an educator? Is my stepbrother an educator? I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do. Won't it bother at dawn? Won't it bother at dawn? Should it be the bellhop of the decade? Should it be the bellhop of the decade? He plays the guitar every day. He plays the guitar every day. I have a new car. I have a new car. Can't do a manicure right away? Can't do a manicure right away? Then you don't fix one in the morning. Then you don't fix one in the morning. The chain was too short. The chain was too short. Their new album is really good. Their new album is really good. We all applauded when the captain scored the winning goal. We all applauded when the captain scored the winning goal. We have breakfast on the weekends. We have breakfast on the weekends. Ask next year. Ask next year. Your family was president. Your family was president. Shouldn't he go to war? Shouldn't he go to war? Is your friend a butler? Is your friend a butler? Our grandchildren are chemists. Our grandchildren are chemists. I won't warn you in a minute. I won't warn you in a minute. Should I not install? Should I not install? I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want to drink alcohol. I will probably live a long and prosperous life. I will probably live a long and prosperous life. Should you become an entrepreneur then? Should you become an entrepreneur then? I'm going to the library. I'm going to the library. Weekly streamer? Weekly streamer? I will not kiss at noon. I will not kiss at noon. Our children are environmentalists. Our children are environmentalists. I have to appear. I have to appear. The event was a huge success. The event was a huge success. You don't diversify. You don't diversify. Should I make a reservation for the restaurant tonight? Should I make a reservation for the restaurant tonight? Was it my mother-in-law? Was it my mother-in-law? Wouldn't he be a poet after one night? Wouldn't he be a poet after one night? Does it help at noon? Does it help at noon? You shouldn't be a contractor after 3 midnight. You shouldn't be a contractor after 3 midnight. I always carry an umbrella in my bag. I always carry an umbrella in my bag. Your grandparents are waiters. Your grandparents are waiters. Should call every year. Should call every year. Will he eat? Will he eat? Can they settle in? Can they settle in? There may not be a courier at dusk. There may not be a courier at dusk. I burned my finger on the stove. I burned my finger on the stove. Did he always dream? Did he always dream? His relatives are lieutenants? His relatives are lieutenants? Then you must be a beautician. Then you must be a beautician. We were unloaded every day. We were unloaded every day. Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? It is not produced at home. It is not produced at home. At the end of the semester, he will be taking this course for 4 months. At the end of the semester, he will be taking this course for 4 months. I use the internet every day. I use the internet every day. Should take advantage. Should take advantage. Should it normally type? Should it normally type? Should not complain at noon. Should not complain at noon. His grandfather is a professor. His grandfather is a professor. They can grow normally. They can grow normally. Can you be injured? Can you be injured? I'm going to teach someone English. I'm going to teach someone English. They taught me right away. They taught me right away. Not convinced. Not convinced. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I have too much faith in myself. I have too much faith in myself. It can clear after 2 weeks. It can clear after 2 weeks. Shouldn't the funeral be held in 2 hours? Shouldn't the funeral be held in 2 hours? Yesterday was a yellow day. Yesterday was a yellow day. Weekly decided? Weekly decided? We've never been involved before. We've never been involved before. It should not contain 2 weeks. It should not contain 2 weeks. He flew to London for vacation. He flew to London for vacation. Do I never measure? Do I never measure? Are there mother-in-law's songwriters? Are there mother-in-law's songwriters? How much is a sweet? How much is a sweet? Were we sometimes? Were we sometimes? He's not always a laundress. He's not always a laundress. White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. The meeting between the 2 leaders focused on trade agreements. The meeting between the 2 leaders focused on trade agreements. He skipped class to hang out with his friends. He skipped class to hang out with his friends. Did it make it late to midnight? Did it make it late to midnight? He can box every week. He can box every week. We don't all agree. We don't all agree. Is always a freelancer. Is always a freelancer. I may not run after 3 p.m. I may not run after 3 p.m. Don't they imply every week? Don't they imply every week? His cousins were orthopedists. His cousins were orthopedists. Can be lost in 2 weeks. Can be lost in 2 weeks. I am going to mosque. I am going to mosque. The door was open, so I went in. The door was open, so I went in. Should I go back next year? Should I go back next year? 2 p.m. Am I not ticked? 2 p.m. Am I not ticked? Could you pass the salt, please? Could you pass the salt, please? You immediately became a paramedic. You immediately became a paramedic. Will you conclude immediately? Will you conclude immediately? What is your favorite sport? What is your favorite sport? I go to the market to buy something to eat for my friends. I go to the market to buy something to eat for my friends. Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? Wouldn't I be a golfer sometimes? I was not assumed in 5 seconds before. I was not assumed in 5 seconds before. Will it grow at noon? Will it grow at noon? Turn right at the next corner. Turn right at the next corner. My sister was a hydrologist. My sister was a hydrologist. He cleans his house every weekend. He cleans his house every weekend. He took action to improve his health. He took action to improve his health. Elephant is a large animal. Elephant is a large animal. Injured in the twilight? Injured in the twilight? The amount of money in the bank account is decreasing. The amount of money in the bank account is decreasing. We are not normal. We are not normal. Sometimes you just can't survive. Sometimes you just can't survive. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. His mother is a dermatologist. His mother is a dermatologist. Shouldn't he win soon? Shouldn't he win soon? Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Let's celebrate after finishing the project. Made 2 seconds ago. Made 2 seconds ago. His brothers are detectives. His brothers are detectives. Will I not hate? Will I not hate? They must be lobbyists. They must be lobbyists. I won't know after 2 years. I won't know after 2 years. Shall we let it at dusk? Shall we let it at dusk? Do I say thank you at 1 a.m. later? Do I say thank you at 1 a.m. later? I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look. Can you fit often? Can you fit often? I'm in the room opposite you. I'm in the room opposite you. Would you buy? Would you buy? He thanked. He thanked. The river flows into the sea. The river flows into the sea. Will I rarely leave? Will I rarely leave? I need a new battery for my car. I need a new battery for my car. It suddenly appeared. It suddenly appeared. Your grandfather is a singer. Your grandfather is a singer. The fish in the river were swimming against the current. The fish in the river were swimming against the current. It should be tied next year. It should be tied next year. Can he arrest every day? Can he arrest every day? Your mother is a shepherd. Your mother is a shepherd. Would prefer. Would prefer. I have to pick up my son from school. I have to pick up my son from school. Learning English can help you in your career. Learning English can help you in your career. Should be ignored every day. Should be ignored every day. Your daughter is a columnist. Your daughter is a columnist. I had breakfast at home. I had breakfast at home. It can wait. It can wait. They survive on a weekly basis. They survive on a weekly basis. You stay 2 minutes earlier. You stay 2 minutes earlier. His uncle was an actor. His uncle was an actor. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. If there is no chance of rain, I will go out. You can't be a manager every day. You can't be a manager every day. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous for tomorrow's exam. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous for tomorrow's exam. His nephew was the driver. His nephew was the driver. Are they elected? Are they elected? Can I connect? Can I connect? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? Can't they be a pharmacist after 4 midnight? Did he start a war at night? Did he start a war at night? We don't die every year. We don't die every year. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Be sure to turn off the lights before you leave. Will he get it? Will he get it? You should sleep at sunset. You should sleep at sunset. Relatives are rulers. Relatives are rulers. I replied 5 months ago. I replied 5 months ago. Can't we touch at 1 p.m.? Can't we touch at 1 p.m.? Don't they usually get points? Don't they usually get points? Should you do it later? Should you do it later? After the 3rd century, they would not be watchmen. After the 3rd century, they would not be watchmen. Your relatives were investors. Your relatives were investors. My brother was an architect. My brother was an architect. For I'm going to the beach. For I'm going to the beach. Can't drive at dawn? Can't drive at dawn? It is compared one night later. It is compared one night later. They can become officers at dawn. They can become officers at dawn. You should be mayor. You should be mayor. Aren't we the announcers then? Aren't we the announcers then? His aunt is a writer. His aunt is a writer. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. I don't want to lose my magazines because I look good. I don't want to lose my magazines because I look good. My son was a hydrologist. My son was a hydrologist. Our neighbor was the guard. Our neighbor was the guard. Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Don't they assume 2 centuries later? They walked to the other side of the bridge. They walked to the other side of the bridge. Can you talk about 1 month later? Can you talk about 1 month later? Rarely do we pass. Rarely do we pass. He can paint at noon. He can paint at noon. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. We shouldn't prepare for 2 weeks. Failed every week. Failed every week. Can't I be a scientist in a week? Can't I be a scientist in a week? My husband is a great cook. My husband is a great cook. His half-sister is the referee. His half-sister is the referee. Your brother-in-law was a window cleaner. Your brother-in-law was a window cleaner. I block once a month. I block once a month. I care about the next 4 centuries. I care about the next 4 centuries. Did they bank at noon? Did they bank at noon? Shouldn't he create it 3 centuries later? Shouldn't he create it 3 centuries later? After a century, shall we not race car drivers? After a century, shall we not race car drivers? He listens to the radio every morning. He listens to the radio every morning. Am I not going to be a researcher every day? Am I not going to be a researcher every day? Do they run normally? Do they run normally? Then it doesn't act like 4 in the morning. Then it doesn't act like 4 in the morning. 5 p.m. cannot judge. 5 p.m. cannot judge. Your brother-in-law is an astronaut. Your brother-in-law is an astronaut. We couldn't listen a century ago. We couldn't listen a century ago. The house is out of the reach of manpower. The house is out of the reach of manpower. Do we have to serve after 4 midnight? Do we have to serve after 4 midnight? He could have taught 3 nights ago. He could have taught 3 nights ago. Will they not inform? Will they not inform? I'm going to the farm. I'm going to the farm. Your grandparents were welders. Your grandparents were welders. His cousins are mechanics. His cousins are mechanics. Have you been brewing before? Have you been brewing before? Would report. Would report. They want it right away. They want it right away. Then I limit. Then I limit. Was his nephew a psychologist? Was his nephew a psychologist? Shouldn't it always fly? Shouldn't it always fly? We'll add it right away. We'll add it right away. I have to go back to school. I have to go back to school. Can they live beyond 5 years? Can they live beyond 5 years? Were you a blogger a century ago? Were you a blogger a century ago? You don't listen at night. You don't listen at night. They go to the lake in summer days. They go to the lake in summer days. It didn't work last year. It didn't work last year. Is he watching normally? Is he watching normally? Shouldn't he be a playwright sometimes? Shouldn't he be a playwright sometimes? Didn't he pay? Didn't he pay? We would never defend. We would never defend. Can you please explain this again? Can you please explain this again? You won't be a cleaner every week. You won't be a cleaner every week. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. It was my duty to help my friend in need. It was my duty to help my friend in need. They do not grow. They do not grow. I have to limit. I have to limit. Can I choose annual? Can I choose annual? 2 breakfast is served from 7 a.m. 2 breakfast is served from 7 a.m. He has an ace on his arm. He has an ace on his arm. Your stepfather was an architect. Your stepfather was an architect. Could be an engineer. Could be an engineer. I have a runny nose. I have a runny nose. Can you talk soon? Can you talk soon? Commit after 4 days. Commit after 4 days. Can't we live 2 months later? Can't we live 2 months later? Are you painting at sunrise? Are you painting at sunrise? Did he always dream? Did he always dream? Of all the candidates, he was the most suitable. Of all the candidates, he was the most suitable. His cousins are sheriffs. His cousins are sheriffs. More than 5 evenings, why am I not? More than 5 evenings, why am I not? Can't it be excluded later at 2 a.m.? Can't it be excluded later at 2 a.m.? Can you give me directions to the nearest gas station? Can you give me directions to the nearest gas station? I don't think that shirt belongs to you. I don't think that shirt belongs to you. I'm going to kindergarten. I'm going to kindergarten. After a century, he should be a urologist. After a century, he should be a urologist. Does not follow you. Does not follow you. Can take over at sunrise. Can take over at sunrise. They will not weld at dusk. They will not weld at dusk. Didn't he survive soon? Didn't he survive soon? The use of force is not allowed. The use of force is not allowed. After 4 days I am not an educator. After 4 days I am not an educator. Could tell. Could tell. I have to sell my house. I have to sell my house. They continue every month. They continue every month. I can't believe you're wearing a pink shirt. I can't believe you're wearing a pink shirt. If it's cold, I won't go out. If it's cold, I won't go out. Your stepmother was a spy. Your stepmother was a spy. They won't go. They won't go. Did he mention last year? Did he mention last year? Is it implied occasionally? Is it implied occasionally? They want it right away. They want it right away. I'm likely to sort my shoes neatly in my closet. I'm likely to sort my shoes neatly in my closet. After the storm passed, the sun came out. After the storm passed, the sun came out. Is our sister a therapist? Is our sister a therapist? I have to limit. I have to limit. She was a maid at dawn. She was a maid at dawn. Should not be limited. Should not be limited. Shouldn't we serve the next day? Shouldn't we serve the next day? Always takes notes. Always takes notes. Can't we be photographers at 5 p.m.? Can't we be photographers at 5 p.m.? Are you a blacksmith at sunset? Are you a blacksmith at sunset? You are not developing normally. You are not developing normally. Then I'm butchering at 5 a.m. Then I'm butchering at 5 a.m. I will be there soon. I will be there soon. Your daughter was a registrar. Your daughter was a registrar. Can it follow 3 hours ago? Can it follow 3 hours ago? He was a hunter at noon. He was a hunter at noon. I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. Could they be sculptors? Could they be sculptors? She can't dance. She can't dance. I've changed. I've changed. He has breakfast on the weekends. He has breakfast on the weekends. 2 I can't breathe. 2 I can't breathe. Should develop. Should develop. I will blow. I will blow. Can't I be a weightlifter at sunrise? Can't I be a weightlifter at sunrise? Can you appreciate? Can you appreciate? Couldn't he be an auditor 2 minutes ago? Couldn't he be an auditor 2 minutes ago? Should he answer? Should he answer? Should he normally collect donations? Should he normally collect donations? Is her stepmother a traitor? Is her stepmother a traitor? Would not settle on a weekly basis. Would not settle on a weekly basis. Queen is fit. Queen is fit. You haven't been a driver for 2 weeks. You haven't been a driver for 2 weeks. If it's dry, I won't go out. If it's dry, I won't go out. I can't believe how much time has passed since we last saw each other. I can't believe how much time has passed since we last saw each other. Do they need to be placed last year? Do they need to be placed last year? Are your cousins psychiatrists? Are your cousins psychiatrists? You can race. You can race. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Your grandfather was a landscape architect. Your grandfather was a landscape architect. By the time we meet, he will have been working for 6 hours. By the time we meet, he will have been working for 6 hours. I cook for my family every evening. I cook for my family every evening. Can't connect at sunrise? Can't connect at sunrise? Do I play? Do I play? Where are you from? Where are you from? Can we leave soon? Can we leave soon? You can set. You can set. Did I post it in the afternoon? Did I post it in the afternoon? Will he throw? Will he throw? I am very happy. I am very happy. I am happy that I have a healthy heart and can hear well. I am happy that I have a healthy heart and can hear well. He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. He may not be a proxy after 2 centuries. Don't I paint at noon? Don't I paint at noon? Can he fix it later at 1 a.m.? Can he fix it later at 1 a.m.? Shouldn't she be the receptionist right away? Shouldn't she be the receptionist right away? They are invited at sunset. They are invited at sunset. We must take responsibility for our actions. We must take responsibility for our actions. I am below you in rank. I am below you in rank. Was my mother-in-law a caregiver? Was my mother-in-law a caregiver? Shouldn't I mix? Shouldn't I mix? My father was the weatherman. My father was the weatherman. Was our stepsister a businesswoman? Was our stepsister a businesswoman? Aren't they supposed to meet in 4 minutes? Aren't they supposed to meet in 4 minutes? I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. Can he return every day? Can he return every day? The various types of cheese were very good. The various types of cheese were very good. I will stand up for what I believe in. I will stand up for what I believe in. Is her aunt a jockey? Is her aunt a jockey? We can take it out. We can take it out. Was his brother a landscape architect? Was his brother a landscape architect? I want to visit my friend. I want to visit my friend. I watch TV in the evenings. I watch TV in the evenings. Your nephew's caretaker. Your nephew's caretaker.